What are we doing?
I
Huh?
thought this was like a chill night.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that happened. Like the instant you said, "What are we doing?" we went live.
Oh,
I'm so glad.
Whoa, we've got names.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Look at this brand new overlay
Well,
that Diana put in.
There was someone who
beautiful.
like bitched and moaned about the fact that we couldn't tell who anyone was, and like fairly
Jackass.
so I fixed it just
No.
for him.
How
Humble
dare they
someone,
question
to be
your
fair.
methods?
I know, right? What an asshole. Fuck him, whoever he is.
Hi everybody. um, welcome back. It's been a little bit of a break here on Iron, Dust and Blood, but we are excited to get back to it. I have missed these fantastic folks, and I've missed this storyline. I've got a lot of exciting things planned. Maybe tonight, maybe not tonight. I don't know. We'll see how far they get. I mean, we did spend an hour walking through a cave one day, so we'll just see. We'll see. Real quick, I would like to introduce our players, and then we'll go over a few announcements, and then we will get right into it. We're going to start at the top left of the Twitch screen here with Mr. Dallas Rex.
That's me. Hi, everybody. My name is Mason Dula. I'm playing Dallas Rex, the sheriff of this here town. Little bit of a swindler. You can find me normally over on Wizard Rex TV here on Twitch. If you like Call of Cthulhu and D&D, that's a fun time, and I'll have a lot of these beautiful faces show up there too. Just saying.
Just saying. Yep. And cross X over here to Mr. Ulrich Wolf.
Yeah, so I'm Lord Fancy, and you can find me as that on all the things. Here on Twitch, I do art, digital art, and we do Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesdays. We just returned with Fancy's Fables 2 weeks ago, and excited for our next episode this coming Tuesday. I am also with Wizard on Wednesdays, and here on every other Thursday. So there you go.
And we'll move right up to Miss Emily, one of the two sisters of the Monroe family.
Hello, I am Emily. I play Mags Monroe in this here show. And Mags is short for magnesium. It's not really my name, but that's what everyone calls me. There's a backstory. I promise. I am the director of licensing over at Roll20. As far as Twitch shows go, besides this one right here, you can find me on I guess don't know exactly what the next steps are going to be, but we just wrapped up our
Blank
Werewolf
of New
storyline.
York.
Blank of New York, hosted by B. Dave Walters over on Q Times from Friday nights. And never forget, I am Diana and Justice's special friend.
Never forget.
Yes, and speaking of special friends, we'll go across to Diana, the other sister of the Monroe sisters.
The other sister of the Monroe sisters is very misleading. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana, one half of Barden Barbarian. I'm the affiliate manager over at Die Hard Dice. I am also in the Blank of New York series. I play Call of Cthulhu over on Mason's channel. I let Justice abuse me in D&D on Saturday mornings, and then on Sunday I turn the tables and play God. All things I do.
Indeed. And I am your storyteller this evening for this Wild West themed Cthulhu game titled Iron, Dust, and Blood. That would have been a perfect segue, but I got to do some announcements first. So first and most importantly for all of you listening, and I'll say this a couple more times throughout the night, over on Twitter for our new dice set that is coming out, our plastic dice set. There's a poll currently up. We had some fantastic entries for the names on that one, and Diana and I chose our top 4 choices, and those are up for voting right now, and then those will be available for purchase tomorrow afternoon at noon Mountain Time?
Noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern. I do want to read a couple of my favorite honorable mentions real quick, just because 2 of them are puns, and I feel like they need to be addressed just for Diana's
Why are you
edification.
doing this to me?
So one of my, it didn't quite make the cut, was bad liar, spelled with Lyre.
Nice.
Oh, that's so good.
I know, and the
Hold on to
other
that for
one,
later.
the bold-faced liar. So I'm gonna
Well.
hold on to those. We might use them at a future
We will
point,
stop selling dice if you ever try and name them that.
but I'll sneak it through when she's not paying attention. And once it's in print,
He
then it's
won't.
done, right? Like you can't do
That's
anything
not
about
how
it.
that
Bold of you
works.
to assume Diana ever stops paying attention
Right?
to anything.
That's fair. I just have to distract her.
I'm basically babysitting, like 24/7.
Oh,
Always watching, Wazowski.
always watching. So hop over there. We are going to close that poll at the end of this game, so we will be able to announce the name. I think they're real good. You guys are real creative. And I think, and our pins, our Hodor Barbarian and the Barbarian pin go live tomorrow at the same time, noon Eastern time. And they're real freaking cute. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
10 out of 10 dog turs.
Yes, dog turds recommend. No, that sounds too much like dog turds, which is totally different.
That's totally what I thought she said.
That's what I heard.
And lastly, I have to apologize that we don't get a full immersion this week, but my top hat and oil baron suit are packed up. So I really appreciate Mason, Lord Fancy, and Emily.
As if they
Cool,
weren't
rubbed coal on
already
my face.
dressed like that. Like,
Rub coal on my face for nothing.
Not nothing. You,
You
look
look hot.
fantastic.
You look
all look
amazing.
amazing, and I can't wait to get my stuff unpacked so I can join you in this full immersion. Speaking of, one last thing that we would love your help on is just some good vibes. We have an offer on a house out, and it's supposed to come back tomorrow. So if you could just throw some of those good vibes out into the universe, we would gladly appreciate it.
Because then we don't
this
have to
housing
be
market
basement people anymore.
it's going fast. Yeah. And we will get brand new areas from which to stream from, and it'll be a lot of fun. I think that's all the announcements. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive in. So we met our adventurers one fateful evening. A full moon blessed this area of Nebraska, Big Springs, Nebraska, as it's called. Used to be Lone Pine, but the railroad came through and changed that name. And we met the Monroe sisters on their ranch, where they were setting up for a real hootenanny of a party that was about to kick off to celebrate the ending of the season, and before all of the ranch hands took the cattle down south to Kansas City. The indomitable, I love that word, Ulrich Wolf, was coming into town chasing a bounty. Who was that bounty you were chasing there, Mr. Wolf?
Well, that would, of course, be Logan Boone, the leader of the Boone gang, rustling up some trouble down the entire length of this new railroad.
And who was it that set that contract out for Mr. Logan Boone?
Well, of course, that would have been the
Union Pacific
Union
Railroad.
Pacific. I was like, there's a P in there.
the Union Pacific Railroad. So here's where I meant to do this earlier, but we haven't run into it yet. So here's where we're going to start to get into some potential historical inaccuracies. So please don't call me on that. There are a lot of things about the Old West that was pretty wild and fun, and there's some things that were not. So we're going to stay away from those bad inaccuracies on purpose, and then there are a lot of inaccuracies that I'm just not going to know, and I'm gonna make it up as we go, and that's the fun of fantasy.
You mean
Damn
Cthulhu was not part of the Wild West?
Oh, he was.
Shock and awe!
Actually,
Wow.
Yeah, so the railroads had a lot of money, and money was power in the Old West, because the law was about as far as you could reach in this area. So Mr. Ulrich Wolf rolls into town, and he meets Sheriff Dallas Rex, and they head out to the Monroe's ranch at the behest of the mayor. to have a good time, and their good time was quickly interrupted by a hideous scream from the house, and it was soon discovered that Mr. Monroe, the head of the Monroe family and ranch, had been murdered. A murder most foul. And in examination of his study, the investigators found a secret passage as well as a secret drawer in Mr. Monroe's desk that looks like it had been torn open. After passing through the secret passage, they met a hideous sight that. Do you remember much about it, Sheriff? It affected you pretty greatly.
Hence why I don't remember much about it. Other
That's
than it
fair.
being a large, spooky, unnatural sort of thing.
He blocked it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Talking
beast.
of the underground.
The beast that you encountered outside of the cave tunnel. Yeah, it was a beast of illogical proportions. It defied human sense, with long fingers, long arms, and a long face, and with his experience in travel, Mr. Ulrich Wolf remembered a legend that was told of a Wendigo that was known to haunt these parts, and they could sometimes be harnessed by those with evil intentions, and it's believed that that's what you encountered. I am being told that we have some sound issues, so I'm going to close the door real quick. I will be right back. While I'm doing that, what the two folks that you all encountered at the end of our last adventure, what do you remember about them? And I'm glad I put on pants.
They were bad.
Yeah, government guys, but they're not important.
I scared him.
Government.
Yeah, we scared them off. It's fine.
Did
As
scare him
government as a couple of hired thugs can be.
and that's essentially what they are. So the Pinkerton detectives from this era were a law into their own right. So they were hired by folks like the Union Pacific Railroad, Wells Fargo, the various other banking entities that were important at this time, and they were hired guns. A lot of them came out of Chicago. That would they would do whatever was necessary to get the contract done, if you know what I'm saying. So you all met a Mr. Nathaniel Caldwell, who introduced himself as a Pinkerton detective, and what was he claiming? What was his purpose for being there?
He wanted to arrest my father.
That's correct.
What?
Now, you all know there's a bit of a problem with that, seeing as your father was decapitated in a most brutal manner. But you didn't let on, and you instead you Mr. Sheriff Rex invited them to head into town where they could find Mr. Monroe for themselves. Now they did give you a stack of papers before they left that were proof of their purpose there. There was another gentleman wearing all black that was also there. He introduced himself as Carl Cartwright, and you got the sense that he was quick on the draw.
Huh.
He had a well-worn pistol, a couple of them that you could see, and his first reaction when approached was to lay hand to pistol. He was ready to swing that leg iron. So that is where we're going to start. You all have just shooed them on their way. Mags with some very convincing arguments, if you will, and you have a moment to look at.
Gun.
That's right. You have the sheriff's gun.
Yep.
You have not got that back from her yet. after your brief incapacitation through insanity and fright. But you still have a weapon. That's correct, if I recall correctly.
Yes, just not a firearm.
Holdout pistol, two little
Who
derringers
knows?
in his sleeves.
I mean, I know, but I didn't want her to know.
That's fair. That's fair. So, the documents that you have, you're looking at them, and as you're looking through them, they are official, but they are all stamped by the railroad first, and then judges second. You actually see Ulrich. You actually see one that is stamped by your father, who is a regional. What was he? He's a
w- I mean, you're gonna have to fill that in for me because he was a U.S. Marshal, and then he became a judge at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah, they have a there was a tendency for a traveling judge, essentially, where he would own a large region. So he's a little bit further west in the Omaha, Kansas City area, and he would travel from town to town. So, if somebody was caught doing something, they'd hold him in the city jail or county jail until the judge came through, and then they would try him. So you do see one that has your father's signature on it. And as you're looking, you see there's a wanted poster with your father's face on it. $1,000, dead or alive. And the papers brought before the court state that he is responsible for aiding and abetting known criminals through monetary and other means to subvert the railroad and inhibit Western progress. And there's lots of fancy signatures. You even see a senator on there. So this is very official, and it looks pretty bad for the Monroe family right now.
Guess it would if he wasn't dead.
Yeah,
So is this paper in front of us right now, like at present?
Yep. The Pinkerton detective handed the stack to Sheriff Rex because he demanded proof of why they were here, the legitimacy of their claim on the Monroe.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd definitely shuffle through them and just probably hand them over. Probably, I would guess I would hand them to Maybell first.
What on earth is this?
Well,
This has to be some kind of mistake.
Lies and slander is what it is.
Our daddy would never do something like this. You don't understand. Sure, if you have to believe me.
well, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter so much what I believe. There's a lot of big signatures on that.
Those can be forged. I refuse to believe that anyone would say things like this about my father. You've seen what he does for this town.
What was that?
I can vouch for a few of them signatures on there.
There's some mistake. This can't be right. And I'll kind of hand it back to Dallas.
All four of you can read, correct? That is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a.
Are you
valid-
talking
it's a
about
good
the
question.
players or the characters? Because I worry about Mason sometimes.
He pretends real well, but the characters, yeah.
Well, is there anything else we ought to be looking for around your father then that you can think of? Because unfortunately, I don't know that I think they're gonna stop just because he's dead.
They're gonna search your property.
For what?
Anything that they can find.
Oh, I'm gonna need you to be more specific. There's a lot of items on our property. There's nothing illegal.
It doesn't have to be illegal.
I'm sure they probably won't take kindly to the path that they'll find in the library.
Well, they don't have to find that. It took us how long to find it?
Few minutes.
Okay. I say us, I don't mean you. You didn't find anything. Mags, there's... who would do this?
I think we need to get past the idea that somebody's trying to frame you deceased. Not much we can do about that at this point. We can only react to what's happening in the moment. You got Pinkertons knocking on your front door. As a bounty hunter myself, they're a group I don't trifle with.
Look, either way, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't really think that's our biggest priority if there's something else out there.
So what exactly suggesting we do?
Well, I don't know how much we can do about the Pinkertons right now. But we'll keep an eye on them as much as we can. It's still my town, so if they step out of line, we'll take care of it.
I'm somewhat not comforted by that.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much that seems to comfort your brain, so I'm not really going to take offense to that right now.
I don't know why the two of you gentlemen are standing there pretending like my daddy's guilty of something. Okay, all right. They can't arrest him. That's clear. We still need to figure out what happened.
Well, hold on. You bring up an excellent point. If they can't arrest him, what's the chance that they come to us for this?
Well,
We're kind gentlewomen. I don't know why they'd come to us for anything, Max.
Well, one of the first things we asked you to was what you knew of your father's dealings. So it would stand to reason that someone else would do precisely that as well.
I mean, the answer's nothing. That was real quick to find out.
And becomes clear with every passing moment.
Yes, well, we clearly accept that answer, but others do not. Again, what our current objective is, it seems we have two priorities at the moment. Yeah, we'll say three. For myself, it's Boone. He's still out there, he's still causing trouble. For good old Sheriff here, that creature that we all saw, it's not going to stop, especially when it's this close to your people. And for you two, it appears that securing some form of family legacy and honor is your current priority. And avoiding the law.
Well, I'm not sure I'd say avoiding the law is one of our priorities, but in general.
How about finding the truth? Is that an appropriate priority? Oh, you're acting like we're up to something. I think it's pretty obvious that we don't know anything.
I am well aware of that, and you do bring up a good point. Finding the truth could solve all three of our objectives.
Well, where do we look?
Well, y'all know this land better than I do, but if your father had dealings with the Boone gang, it only stands to reason that they would be back to gather supplies that which had been left for them by the farm hands and the ranch hands as well. Like that underground tunnel. That was one such path that led closely to one of the dropping points, as told to me by one of the young gentlemen. Perhaps if we laid station there, maybe checked on it every night for a couple days, perhaps we'll run into someone.
Like a stakeout?
Mr. Jeb Rasmussen. That's the range
Jeb
hand that told you that.
Rasmussen. Thank you so much. But as I said, y'all know these parts better than myself, so if there is some objective that clearly lies itself more closely aligned to our goals.
So, Keeper, for my reference, I remember us attempting to find some way to speak to somebody who like locally would have known about Wendigo or something similar. I remember that coming up. I don't remember where we said that would be.
Um,
If you do.
not no. So we're gonna go with the only thing we knew about the Wendigo was what
Okay.
was in the reaches of Ulrich's mind for right
Okay.
now.
Then in
No,
that case, would I know of any locals, like native tribes or anything that would be nearby, or anybody that has constant contact with them or that sort of thing?
there are a few.
Okay.
So uh, hold, please. I don't. This is an inaccuracy that I don't want to get wrong.
Fair.
This area was largely populated by the Apache tribes. There's a map, a handy map in the book.
Ooh, that is handy actually.
The Arapaho and the Pawnee, as
Okay.
well as the Cheyenne, are all around in this area. So you do know of an Arapaho tribe
Okay.
that is it's about a day's ride west off of the railroad. So the railroad goes
Okay.
due west to Cheyenne, and they're south and west a little bit from the town.
And that doesn't happen to conveniently be roughly in the direction of where we're gonna follow up with about the where the Boone Gang has been by chance.
No,
Didn't think so. Okay.
the
All
the
right.
Boone Gang has been known to what you were told by Jeb Rasmussen was that they never the ranch hands never actually had any contact with them, but they would, at the instruction of Mr. Monroe, they would go out and leave supplies at a couple different drop houses towards the further edge of the Monroe territory. And the Boone Gang has been operating between all the way from the far east side of Nebraska, where Omaha is, all the way west to Cheyenne. It's a
Okay.
large place, and that's why it's been so difficult to catch them. But most recent activity has been closer towards the Cheyenne, where the Cheyenne city, where the newer railroad has been laid.
Gotcha. Well, I suppose from my perspective, then, given that Boone has ties to the railroad that we're supposed to be tracking down anyways, maybe we ought to follow up on that, see if we can find anything else about Mr. Monroe on the way, and anybody else we run into. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe there'll be somebody I can ask some of these other questions I have about these creatures.
So this whole time that you all have been chatting, one, there are ranch hands that took notice of the altercation with the Pinkertons, and they are very much in arms, and they've been on patrol ever since the night in question, which actually was just last night. But if you recall, the reason for the hootenanny was to send the ranchers off, take all of the Monroe cattle south to Kansas City to sell for the season. So they've been doing that around you. The ranch has not been idle. It's been a flurry of activity as people are getting ready to go south. And Mr. Rasmussen comes up about this time and he says, "Yeah, that detective giving you any trouble? What's going on? Do we need to rally the troops?"
What troops? Jeb, what are you talking about?
The ranch hands, every single one of them's a good shot with a rifle. We can take care of that Pinkerton.
Did you hear what they said about Daddy?
No, ma'am, I sure didn't.
Could I gesture to Dallas to hold up the thing that I just shoved back in his hands?
$1,000. Hot damn.
Would you pay attention to the matter at hand?
That's no small sum of money, ma'am. As I know you know that. Um, and now I know, and he gets his little nervous that he had on when he was speaking to Mr. Wolf. I know he might have been tangled up in something a little wrong, but your
Would
father
you
was
care?
a good man.
Please enlighten me. What was Daddy wrapped up in?
As I told you, Mr. Wolf here this morning, he had us lay out supplies for the Boone gang. Now, he never specifically told us that, but
I don't believe
we
it.
transferred some notes back and forth, and I saw the name Boone on some of the notes. I never read them because I don't know my letters so good, but there was look, he was a good man. I don't know why he was involved with them, but it had to be for something good, something to help the
Jeb?
people of this town.
I'm gonna walk away before I try and beat you senseless myself.
Oh,
And I'll take a
yes,
few
Miss
steps
Morrell.
back and kind of just mosey off.
Now, Jeb, if you know anything or know anybody that knows anything else, I trust that you would bring it to me.
Oh,
Not
certainly.
only for, the wonderful ladies here, but also because I think you probably could guess what kind of might that these Pinkertons would be able to bring down on the city if they found us being unruly.
Certainly, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Sheriff. I look. Me and my boys, we run a tight ship, and we don't want to cross with no Pinkertons. But now, if it comes down to slinging iron, we will. If it comes to protecting this ranch, we'll be at your back.
Kind of put my hand on his shoulder, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure that I speak for all of us when I say that. Just keep your wits about you for now, and we'll call if we need you. I promise. Okay.
Well, now, as you can see, we're getting ready, and we're departing in the morning. Just because Mr. Monroe's gone, we got to keep this ranch afloat. So I'm taking most of the boys south, and if y'all want to come along, if you need to, I don't know, hide from Miss Monroe, and he's going to look at you, Mags. If you all want to maybe get out of town for a little while, let the fires calm down, you can join us on the cattle drive. It's not much comfortable, but it'll keep you out of sight. And there's lots of fun things to do in Kansas City.
Shoot, y'all know I don't care about comfort. Does sound tempting.
We'll keep you and your sister safe. And Sheriff, if you and Mr. Wolf want to come with us, we can talk about it as we go. Sell the cows, and once we, in a month or two, when we come back up this way, we might have a few more answers.
I ain't got that kind of time. Jeb, in your deliveries, is there one that was scheduled to be had in the next day or so? Maybe even today?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, there was. Me and the boys were planning on running out a case of some hardtack and molasses and just basic supplies tonight before we left. That's what we was told to do before Mr. Monroe passed on.
How about you give them instructions to us? We'll see to it it's taken care of for you. You got plenty going on here, getting everything situated before you head down south. We'll pop that on for you.
Well, I passed that on to sorry, I gotta look up Mags's favorite person. Lewis is in charge of that. He doesn't know why. He's a simple boy, but he gets the job done, and he doesn't know the reason he's doing that. He thinks he's just setting up some supplies for us for the ranch hands that are staying here. That's the way we always did it. Me and Mr. Monroe were the only ones that knew the true nature of it. The boys all thought they was just setting up, little posts around the ranch.
So then I'm certain you know what question I'll be asking you next.
No, sir, I can't rightly say.
Where's the boy?
Oh, well, Lewis Lewis, all you gotta do is stand up and yell. Lewis will come run. Actually, if you just have Miss Monroe there, yell, he'll come running.
I'm sure the brick can yell.
He's a good lad. What's that?
I said, I'm sure that the brick can yell.
The brick? Sure. Now, you know what? I'll go find Lewis and I'll send him your way. And I'm gonna keep getting ready now. Remember, and tell your sister as well. The invitation's open. Y'all can come south with us.
All right.
Just leave all this behind, and you know the house will be taken care of. We'll leave some folks here. All right, kind of back away.
I just turned to Ulrich and I'm like, what was that all about?
What part?
The part about Lewis.
Well, if you want answers and a confirmation as to whether or not your father was indeed in bed with these outlaws, take a glance at the other sister. Then I think it is in our best interest to follow up on this next delivery. Also, for slang reference, to refer to somebody as a brick is to state that they are tough and tough and I guess masculine in a way, and like a physical, could kick your ass kind of a way.
You a strong girl.
Yeah. So it can be to refer either of the persuasion. So that's why I used it.
I learned something today.
I think that Lord Fancy has introduced us to a slang Western term every single episode, one or the other. So
The
keep it up.
more you know.
Regular old ancient thesaurus over here. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you all are milling about. What did you go off to do, Maybell?
I probably walked just out of earshot, maybe like 15 feet away. And how long has it been since the Pinkertons left the ranch? It hasn't been long, right?
Oh, maybe about half an hour.
Okay. I'm probably honestly just staring down the road that they left on, with my arms crossed, just like mumbling to myself about, Pop couldn't have done this. Papa wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have done this to us. There's no way.
Well, up from around the corner comes Lewis. Oh, howdy, Miss Monroe. Jeb says you was looking for me. Anything I can do for you, Miss Monroe? I had just.
Lewis, what do you know about these deliveries?
Deliveries, ma'am? I'm loading up a wagon right now. I'm gonna take it out to the far corner here in a couple hours. Once it's all set up, and we're gonna leave it at the shack on the far west side of the property this time. And that's for winter supplies. We're holding up the winter supplies, so the ranch hands got plenty to eat while they're out on patrol.
You're seeming a little more nervous than normal, Lewis.
Oh, no. Well, there's a lot of going on, ma'am. And I really want to get this done and taken care of so I can pack my bag, because Jeb says if I don't have my bag packed and ready to go, then I don't get to go on the cattle drive. And this is my first cattle drive they get to go on, and I really want to go because you get 3 whole tollers.
Rambling, and I like walk right up to him and tower over him and just get right up in his face. And I'm like, Lewis, there's something you're not telling me.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Just that Jeb said I have to get the wagon out there by 8 p.m. this evening and get back without lingering at all. I had to get it there, drop it off, and get back up here.
That didn't ever strike you as a bit odd?
What was that, Sheriff? He's going to turn his head but not take his eyes off of Mags.
those specific instructions never struck you as any sort of odd?
Why, no, that's how things are worked on a ranch. Jeb tells you where to go, when to do that, and what time to be back. If we don't pay attention to those, then cows get loose, the whole thing falls apart. It's more strict in the military, so I'm told.
Well,
And I get an extra $1 for making these runs. And
oh,
I'm
do
saving
you?
up my dollars, Miss Monroe. I'm gonna buy me a house right here in town. And then maybe I'll be a proper man. Kind of kick the ground.
Well, that's really nice and sweet and all. Ulrich, I think you said perhaps we could maybe take this one. I think still I'll make sure you get that dollar, son. But I think maybe we ought to take this one for you.
Well, if those supplies don't get out there, Mr. Rasmussen will be awful sore with me. I mean,
We've already spoken with Mr. Rasmussen. We've informed him of our intent to take this delivery for you. He's the one who told us you were in charge of it. That's why we're having this conversation at this very moment.
Oh, well, certainly that makes good sense. You said I could still get the $1?
Of course.
I'm gonna
I'll
hand
make
him a
sure.
dollar.
All right, there you go.
Why, thank you, Mr. Wolf. That's awfully kind of you. Oh, yeah, yes, Miss Monroe.
Lewis, get out of here now.
Yes, yes. Now you all be safe. There's rattlesnakes out there. Just keep an eye out, Miss Monroe. Don't let the horse get spooked. It'll throw you for sure. If a rattler comes up and you're not paying attention, and it comes out of the grass like that, it'll spook your horse. It buck you right off.
She said go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He goes off to find another job to do.
That's
$1,
the sort
hot
of
damn.
That's the sort of fella looking to suck the venom from that kind of wound.
I just give you a withering stare.
Y'all gonna go find that wagon?
I was gonna say, where's the stuff? Is it nearby? I just assumed it might be nearby, but
Y'all didn't ask. You scared poor Lewis off. No, it's with all the commotion going on. As you go around the side of the house over towards the supply barn, there's a wagon that's partially loaded, and it doesn't have a flurry of activity around it. So it's unique in that it is isolated and not being dealt with at the moment. Standard clapboard wagon, no, just an open bed, and he's got about three big 5-pound bags of beans thrown in there, and some flour and barrel of oats and some horse feed, and it looks like there's some more supplies that are like stacked outside of it, not quite loaded in the wagon yet, but it looks like it all needs to go in there. You can get it loaded up, no problem.
Gentlemen,
That ain't the
go
intention. These boys ain't gonna be receiving any kind of supplies from this ranch no more.
Well, I mean, hold on a minute, Mr. Wolf. I thought you were a clever man. We could always add a little something
Use it
to
as
the
bait.
rations we're passing out.
Color me intrigued.
I mean, Father used to have very fitful sleep. I know for a fact he has some soothing remedies in the house that, might make these ruffians a little easier to track down.
You devious daughters.
I don't know if you realize this, but we of the Monroe household are beautiful and smart. And I'll pass him to go into the house and get whatever sleep aids or sedatives may be laying around.
It's called liquor.
Drugs. I'm going to seek out the good shit.
So
ye old good shit.
Ye old good shit.
Ye
You
old
know
good
for a
shit.
fact
So
that
that
your
plays
your
good.
father has a bottle of the ye old good shit that he keeps on his little wash basin. So there's a 3/4 full bottle of laudanum.
Oh. Oh.
I'll bring
Some
it back to
laudanum for the sleeps.
Yeah, I'll bring it back to the wagon and just sort of wave it in front of Ulrich's face. There. That ought to do the trick for anything you want to take down.
And there are a couple of not mason jars, but pottery jugs. Your traditional homemade whiskey jugs there, some corn whiskey, that are set to go out with the supplies.
One moment before you I'm gonna pop the cork and refill my flask, and then
Fill the remainder with laudanum.
no, with the whiskey.
Huh. Now, I am no doctor, the storyteller, so I do not know what would happen if you mix laudanum and whiskey and have somebody drink it, but
probably nothing good.
Yeah,
they're gonna crap themselves and wake up in a field somewhere.
But you know what? We're gonna roll with it. So,
oh boy.
You spike this here whiskey jug with liquid opium.
Yeah, I'd like to do it and try and look like I know what I'm doing in the process. Like I've done this 1,000 times before, to show these stupid men what's up.
There are 2 whiskey jugs. Are you splitting it, or are you pouring it all into one?
What kind of ratio are we talking, like liquid to liquid? Like, is this like 3 drops of opium for 2 gallons of whiskey? Like,
why don't you roll me a medicine check?
Yeah, Miss Learned One.
If I recall, Ulrich also has medicine, right? Would he
hopefully not, because he'll know how
knows
dumb I am.
I was really hoping I had medicine so I could see how dumb you are.
If you would like to roll medicine as well, Mr. Ulrich, now you are not actively. This is a roll to see if you recognize whether or not she knows what she's doing.
I had a regular success, so
Okay.
I at least pretended to know what I was doing.
Well, I got a regular hard extreme.
Yeah.
Giggity.
Hard.
Hard success.
Uber success.
Yeah, Mags has refused to say extreme. So as you're mixing it, you know what, you're like, I don't know exact proportions. I'm no doctor, but I know that if I put this much in here, it'll do something to them. So you split it half and half, and you, to everybody's dismay, you pour out a little bit of whiskey on the ground to make room for the laudanum that you're going to pour on the top. And Ulrich, you're watching her, and you're like, that's a lot of laudanum. That might just kill those boys, but you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it'll put them exactly where we want them to be. Neither of you are exactly certain of the laudanum to whiskey ratio for an optimal sleep potion.
But kind of thankfully. Like, it's good that I don't have that knowledge.
I'm no alchemist, but I think we'll all be pleased with the results.
So are you going to load the rest of the supplies in the wagon?
Yeah, I'll keep working on that.
Okay.
Is there anything like ammunition, say, dynamite, things that aren't food and other kinds of winter supplies?
There is not. So it is actually, you know what? There are some crates. So if you would like to open the crates, that is an option. There's nothing overt, let's say, that poor Lewis loading this wagon up would have alarm bells trigger, right?
And that's certainly what rings mine. If there's a way that I can crack open the lid on these that are unmarked, I would like to do so.
Okay. Are you trying to do it in a way that it is easy to put back together, let's say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
Okay.
destroy it, just trying to crack it open as one would a crowbar or any type of wedge tool I would need.
Let's do actually. This is a little bit. It's not a lock per se, but we're gonna do a locksmith check to see if you, because you're not gonna have a problem opening this. It's a crate and a barrel. Like there's 2 crates and there are 2 barrels, and then there are the sacks of flour and beans and corn and whatnot. So locksmith to see if you open it without breaking it.
I have a 1% chance of getting a regular success.
Still a critical if you succeed.
Nope.
So you look around for a pry bar of some sort and don't see anything directly. So you take the butt of your rifle that you got there, and you kind of try and pry open one of those crates, and it just cracks wide open. And as there's sawdust lining it, or not sawdust, but like straw to pad it. But it's not explosives. It's iron implements. So it's big long pry bars and some sledgehammers.
No, it looks like tools for dismantling railroads, causing thousands of dollars of damage.
Or, mending fences. I don't know.
Jump to some epic conclusions there.
I mean, I'm only calling it as I sees it. And then I guess I'll be satiated enough to truly steel myself for what's to come, and we'll finish loading the cart.
Okay.
Thanks for
Now,
letting me have my aside.
those crates are heavy, and so are the barrels. And the barrels have a liquid in them, as you hear it slosh. So you all are getting ready to depart. Lewis does come by and drop off a sheet of paper that has directions. There's a trail that kind of leads out towards the back of the property, and it's a good 2 or 3 hour drive at a sedate pace out to this far corner. And as you're fixing to head out, you hear a commotion at the front gate, and somebody has ridden up. There's a cloud of dust. The horse is in a lather. He's sweating and panting. And I need to see Miss Monroe. I need to see either of the Monroe sisters right now, right away. And Mags, Maybell, and Rex, you all recognize Darren as one of the house staff for the mayor.
Okay.
How does he sound? Like, does he...
He's out of breath.
Does he
came
sound
from...
mad?
Nope, not mad.
Okay.
He's ready to... He got here quick.
Like physically running.
Yeah, well, he was on a horse, but the horse is lathered up and breathing heavy. And
Gotcha.
even, riding fast is still a physically
Sure.
taxing.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is.
And he comes in hot and slings off, and the ranch hands at the front that are basically armed guards at this stage, stop him, and he sees you all in the distance, and Miss Monroe, Maybell, forgive me, Mags, I need to speak with you immediately. The mayor sent me after you.
What's this all about?
Guys, it's okay. You can let him go.
They're taking your dad.
What?
What?
They're taking his body. They said that they said dead or alive. They were taking him, and they're loading him on the train right this instant.
Wait, who's they?
The Pinkerton man.
What on earth would they want with his body? Why is the
don't
mayor
know.
allowing this?
How's the mayor supposed to stop him? They threatened to shoot him.
He's the
They said-
mayor!
Well, yeah, but they said you were interfering with officers of the law, practicing due diligence and justice, and they said that they would shoot him right there. I was
whip
there,
my
I
head
saw it.
around to the sheriff, and I'm like, "What do you have to say about this?"
Is there a horse nearby?
Yeah, there's several.
Well, I don't know if we're quite done with Edward ourselves yet. Ulrich, do you think maybe we could go have a word with him?
I've already disappointed my father enough, crossing against a Pinkerton, shooting him down in a small unknown town that's beside a railroad is not something that was on my list when I had arrived here. You reckon to get yourself killed if you face off against them. No offense to you young ladies, but your father's corpse, now, it should be laid to rest. If this Pinkerton would do to cart him away, we're talking about Pinkertons being left dead in the dirt to prevent this.
I'm halfway to a horse and I grabbed Megs by the hand.
I willingly follow.
Well, like it or not, I've got something I want to know as well, and I got a certain duty to my people. So, Ulrich, you can come or not, but certainly would appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and swing up on a horse as well.
Actually, your horse is there because you. Oh no, you rode in on a wagon. Just kidding.
Yeah, unfortunately, I rode in on a wagon.
Where did he say they were?
They're back in town, and they're getting his body from. They're getting his body from Doc right now. The town tried to stop him. There were several people there, but they hit the blacksmith right in the mouth, and they said next one that tries to interfere, they were going to shoot him dead like a dog.
All right. Thank you, Darren, and we'll go.
I'm gonna, before you run off, do you think one of you ladies could maybe just, since we've still got Jeb and the boys here, at least send for them so they can, come riding in to save the day in a minute, assuming things don't go so smooth.
Lewis! Max is going into town. You better join us in a few minutes, and then I'll take off.
You dirty.
I mean, he'll know he come. That's fine.
Do I see Jeb?
No, but actually, yeah. There's enough commotion going on at the front that Jeb is coming to investigate what's going on.
Can I just, because I see them riding off, I'm just gonna, if I could give him a whistle and give one of those motions and head my way into town, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. He immediately starts running back towards the barn and grabbing folks.
All right.
And Mr. Wolf, are you headed in with him?
Just gonna mutter, shit. Watch as they ride off while I try and decide what I'm gonna do.
As a note for me, the sheriff, does my office happen to be on the way so I can grab another gun since somebody still has mine?
No, your office
Okay.
is in the heart of town. Presumably you could get there. You could go around a different way, but
Nope, this is good enough. This will be fine. All right, I'm gonna keep going.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yep. No, I've got plans and contingencies for this sort of thing. So, I'm on a horse.
all right. So, I bookmarked the rules for horse riding.
I was gonna say, it should be noted, I have no idea what I'm doing on the back of a horse, so...
Like,
I have
you Diana or you Belly?
Yes.
Yes.
Mason, it makes me happy that you know me well enough to answer that for me.
I have 50% of an idea what I'm doing.
You have a faint glimmer of a thought. Horse.
I knew there'd be horses. I didn't think they would be my primary thing that I need, but I was I need at least a 50% chance of not falling off this thing.
All right. So, you are not actually being chased or anything, but
Okay.
You are riding hellbent, right? None of you are taking it slow. You're going pretty quick, right?
I don't know how
Correct.
fast she's going, I guess.
Okay. So did you all hop on the same horse, or are you on both on different
There's all
horses?
three of us on the one.
Megs is on the same horse as I am, I think.
Yeah, sisters sharing a
I have
horse.
Ulrich riding behind me. He's got his arms around me.
Like the Seth Rogen version of the. Never mind.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's somebody do up some fanfic there.
Please don't.
That's good. After
Please
hours
don't.
for the Deviant Art account. Anywho, so I need. You know what? Both of you, all three of you, roll me an animal. Is it animal handling?
There's a
What are they-
ride check
Oh, yeah. Let's do
Giggity.
ride.
that they put in here for this.
Oh
I think it's
no.
at
Yay!
least a 15% chance.
Yeah, everybody knows a little bit about riding.
I don't know if that's true. That's
Almost a hard success. Regular success for me.
Regular
That's-
success. Okay.
it's a
How
failure.
how did the Monroe sisters do? A failure? How'd you do, Mags?
Is there such thing as a hard failure?
Ooh, I mean there is. If you rolled 100.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Very close. Very close.
Okay.
I thought I wanted this to look so cool.
You all go pounding out, hell bent to get to town, and you get about 50 feet outside the gate, and this horse just like you pull on the reins, you're sawing on the reins a little bit, and it just like pulls up and it starts to turn in a circle.
Come on now, you're embarrassing me. Let's go.
Give me an animal handling roll. As the sheriff, are you going to stop to help them, or are you going on past?
How in trouble do they look?
They haven't hurt themselves, but this horse, I have a vision that I've seen in a movie. Because I'll be honest, I haven't been on a horse since probably a decade. So this is not anything that, and that horse was very tame. But you're sawing on the reins, like you want it to go faster, and it's kind of pulling its head back in the direction that you're pulling, and it's going in a circle and snorting and pawing at the ground as it's not bucking you, but it's a trained riding horse, so it knows better than that, but it's not comfortable with the two of you on its back and sawing at its face.
So I don't have animal handling of
Yeah.
any kind here.
Got a 1% chance.
Well, no, I don't have it on my sheet at all.
It should be top left. Is it not for?
I have the rook and I have a physical
Okay.
copy.
Gotcha.
So everybody has a 5%.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I failed real bad.
I
Okay.
was going to stop and help though, because it's kind of what I'm
pities
supposed to
me.
do.
Okay. Why don't you roll me an animal handling, but roll it twice and we'll take the higher. I don't know if there's an advantage situation here, but it's a trained horse, so it's not like you're trying to break a wild mount. You're just trying to, hey, maybe just give me the reins and you
Would
just follow me.
ride be better? Because I also only have a 5% in animal handling.
This is going to end so poorly. We might as well have walked to town.
We're all just going to end up somehow three strung up in a line being pulled behind like a horse.
God.
Do you have animal handling, Mags, with your horseshoeing and such?
I mean, I just got the 5. I don't
Okay.
have it.
You can give it a roll though. See what happens. We're gonna
This is
stick with
gonna
animal
go so
handling. They're
badly.
Rex.
Yeah, that's a no.
I can
Unless
tell
you
you without
opt
looking.
to do
I've-
something else. Like if you want to get off your horse
Yeah.
and help them.
Here's what I want to do. Can I do something
I got a
instead of-
4. I succeeded.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can absolutely do something else, Mags, if you would care to.
So okay, here's what I'd like to do. When I see how great the sheriff is at his horse, I'm amazing with ropes.
Okay.
So, I also carry rope with me everywhere I go
Everywhere, obviously. Yeah.
because I'm really good at
Guys,
it.
Max
Yeah.
is a dominatrix. I'm like 99% certain.
Hammers and ropes.
As they're scuffling about, just for like shits and giggles, do I maybe see that sloppily put revolver of mine just shoved in her skirt or dress or pants or whatever she's wearing?
Let's do a spot hidden.
So while he's looking at my skirt, I'm gonna try to lasso onto the I don't know saddle terms, but that little part on the front of the saddle,
Yeah, the
Horn?
saddle horn.
yes, of his horse, to like pull our horse into line with him.
Okay. All right.
This is totally how horses work.
Switching our legs between the two horses.
How does horses work?
I successed, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to see that she has your pistol on
Okay.
her person.
Can I sleight of hand it from her?
Um,
Just not say anything, just quickly.
We are on 2 separate horses, right?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, but you're pulling us up close. So if you're
So-
pulling us that close, I'm gonna take it.
Not that
yet.
close, sir.
Not yet. But that will be a potential option for later.
Noted.
So go ahead and try this. Okay, here's the situation.
Emily.
girls- Ride out, hell bent on getting to town and rescuing their father's decapitated body from the would-be ravishings of a Pinkerton detective, and immediately they start to have problems. The horse is reluctant to listen to Maybelle's less than gentle hand.
But we look good doing it. Like,
Yeah, up until you're out of sight at least. We'll say you got out of sight of
Mom's
potential
real hot
embarrassing
feeling.
prospects. Yeah, and Sheriff Rex comes tearing out, looking dashing. Like he comes out, you get that almost like the horse comes over on its side, and he's ripping out through there, and he starts to slow down as he sees you all and takes pity on you and whoa horse, and your horse starts to calm down. Mags, go ahead and roll that rope check.
Oh, I rolled it, and I got a hoot and hollering success.
A hoot and hollering success. So Sheriff, you're calming this horse down so it's no longer trying to get away, and then this rope comes out of nowhere and lassos the saddle horn on your horse.
Yep.
And your horses are now tied together.
So what I'm hearing is, from a gameplay perspective, I can roll for ride, and the other horse will just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how ropes work.
so don't
Mason.
screw it up. Is really what we're saying.
So I have to think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Max, but you lasso it. You don't like yank the horse
Yeah,
towards
no,
you.
no,
You're
no,
just
no,
like,
no.
yeah.
It's just like his horse will lead my horse. Like there's a term for it, but I don't know horse
Lead.
terms.
Lead. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it's a lead.
Yeah.
That's what we
Um,
call it when the rope is the lead.
So you got this horse tied, and yeah. Now you how do you proceed here, Sheriff Rex? This rope has reached out and snaked its way around your saddle horn.
You know,
That
I've been
sounds so
thinking about
dirty.
that for the past 5 minutes, trying to think of a logical way to follow that. But I'm going to accept
welcome.
that it's fantasy, and that I have now calmed the horse down, and I'm going to set off on a gentle trot, not so much a breakneck speed, seeing as how they're having trouble.
Okay. All right. Roll me a ride.
Could I yell behind him, "What are you going so slow for?"
Just ignore it. You're welcome for the save. That's a hard success.
All right. Yeah.
That's a what?
Hard success.
It's a really hard.
It's a rootin' tootin' success.
No, rootin' tootin' is better than just regular hard success.
Yeah. That's
So, you start off at a canter, and you're actually able to get up to a pretty decent speed once the horses kind of figure out what the fuck you humans are doing, and they just kind of follow along, and you make pretty good time back to town. It is evident when you get back to town that there is something going on. Now, unlike Darren said, there is not a train currently pulled up, but there is a commotion around the doctor's office.
Who all is it just a gathering of random, like, civilians? Okay.
Yep, you see Lewis the mayor, or not Lewis the mayor. You see the mayor.
Damn, he moved up fast.
No, that dollar you gave him was just
President Lewis.
yeah. John Jacob Austin. That's right, John Jacob Austin and Allison Austin. The mayor and his wife are there, and well, the wife is not there, but none of the townsfolk have firearms, because if they had, I fear this would be a different situation. But the They are standing. They're kind of milling around in the street as the altercation has already occurred, and you see the coffins are propped up outside of the dentist slash doctor slash barber's office.
Yeah.
And the Cartwright, Mr. Cartwright, is sitting on a chair on the little planking that walks along in front of the storefronts and everything. He's sitting there with kind of leaned back, and he looks relaxed. But Sheriff, you know a man that is ready to pull iron when you see one. He seems relaxed, but his hand is also resting on the butt of his guns.
That's fine.
And the town folk are just kind of milling, and the Pinkerton detective is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way up to Tough Guy. Swing down off the horse.
Okay. Are you going to help the ladies off the horse?
Oh yeah, I figured I'd,
Because if you
tie the
do
horse
that,
up.
there's an opportunity to attempt to sleight of hand your pistol away.
Okay, fair enough.
Who do you help first?
I'm not even gonna take it right now, because last I saw it, I don't even think it was reloaded, and I don't know
That's
that
right,
I
you
trust
did.
her to have done that.
Fire all the rounds off.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it for now. Tie up the horses, and I suppose help the ladies down, as the body's not actively being like, we're not having to chase a train or something, as far as I know.
No,
So
train's gone. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
So I'm gonna make my way over to him then. Help the both of them down.
Okay.
And,
I retrieve my robe.
Okay.
I fall in step beside Dallas, very clearly biting my tongue until a conversation is had.
Mr. Cartwright, was it? And I'm making very clear to not have my hands anywhere he's gonna be worried about it.
He'll kind of adjust his hat just a little bit, shift his hand back down towards where his gun is, and he says, "That's right, Sheriff. What can I do you for?"
Well, I hear you're here taking the bodies of the deceased. More importantly, an important piece of evidence in one of my active cases out of my town.
I'm just doing what I'm told, and I'm told that he's worth $1,000, dead or alive.
Well, is there a time limit on that? Because if you're willing to give us some time to go through the proper processes, then perhaps we can have this discussion later.
Once the body starts to stink,
Right.
people
well,
start to turn their nose up at putting them on a train, if you know what I mean.
Then I would like to, because I've still got the papers in my jacket. I also have a holdout pistol in my jacket.
Okay.
I would like to sleight of hand grab that and kind of have it behind there and palm it in my other hand, if possible.
You're pulling the papers out?
I'm gonna pull the papers out, just kind of open my jacket very visibly to grab them.
Okay.
Mr. Cartwright.
Go ahead and sleight a hand to see if you can get the pistol out.
Do I get a bonus as the angry lady beside me is also distracting?
Let's see what she says first before you roll.
Mr. Cartwright, I will pay you $2,000 right this moment to get your filthy paws off my deceased father, please.
I don't have no hands on your father, and now I can't rightly just turn coat like that. I've been paid to do a job, and I'm gonna do that job. I do apologize for the...
I will pay you to do a different job. Please leave my father's body alone. As you can see, he's no longer a threat to anyone.
That
I
is as
punctuate
of yet
her
to be.
sentence by spitting at his feet.
Yes, you get... how does... Well, forgive me.
So-
How does advantage work in this
Yeah,
system?
so- Bonus, they generally do it by bonus dies, which mean you roll the percentile die and take the better one.
Okay. Yeah.
So, okay. Which I will need. Ooh, that's an extreme success now.
A real hootenanny of a success. Hot damn. So yeah, you pull those papers out with your holdout pistol, and nobody's the wiser.
As I just kind of start flipping through the papers, I'm gonna see how their conversation goes, and then I would like to do something, but I'm gonna act like I'm looking for something like specific in the papers while I'm doing it.
Okay. Miss Monroe, I do appreciate the generosity, but I have been tasked by by a very important individual to me, to bring your father in, dead or alive. Now, the $1,000 is a very nice motivator, and I will accept that, but I have other duties that involve the body of your father, and I apologize for the necessity of such a barbaric thing, but
Mr.
it's
Cartwright,
unavoidable.
Mr. Cartwright, you have to understand, and I'm gonna lean in close and kind of go all doe-eyed at this point. My papa was all I had left in the world. He's
Mag's chopped liver?
she's shut up, storyteller.
Sorry.
We were both thinking it.
I can't let him go without a proper burial.
Roll me persuade. There's not a.
Can I
not a
charm?
flirt, is there? Oh, charm. Yeah, yeah. Roll me charm.
That's a thing I'm good at. That's an extreme success.
How are you guys rolling so well?
We got these super cool dice that you got
These
us.
babies.
I regret this.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate your plight, ma'am. And look, if it was up to me, I'd let you bury your father, and I'd just take his head. But, unfortunately, the Pinkerton must have his way.
I'm going to fall to my knees in front of him and grab his hands in sort of a beseeching manner, if I could, and try and get him to like focus on my eyes. And in doing so, I'm just gonna kind of kick at Dallas's shoe.
As a reminder for me, the player, this guy, what is his affiliation to the government? Does he have one, or is he purely...
You don't know. He wasn't introduced to you, except as, whatever his name is, Cartwright.
Okay.
Yeah. The Pinkerton introduced himself, and he said, "This is my associate, Carl Cartwright."
Well, while she's doing that, then I would kind of have shuffled closer, like looking for the papers. Is anyone else around? Do I see any of the other Pinkertons? Do I see anybody that's going to give me trouble right now?
You do not know where the Pinkerton is. Based on general context, you assume he's inside the doctor's office right now.
I'm trying to cry.
Okay.
Like, real obnoxiously, and... yeah.
Well, then, as I don't know his affiliation, and Rex is feeling pretty ballsy today, as she's leaning and crying, I'm going to press the holdout against his throat there.
You're gonna take a step in and put it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold there.
Okay.
What are you doing during all this, Mags?
I'm trying really hard to not laugh at her performance.
You know me so well.
Hold one moment.
He's looking up how many characters he can murder without it being called a slaughter.
Okay. Mags is watching this performance, and you pull the holdout and hold it up to his neck.
physically touching him so that there is no mistaking what's going on. Yes.
Okay. And what do you say?
Now, listen, Mr. Cartwright. I don't rightly know who you represent, where you're from, but this is my town. So, seeing as how you're so good at doing what you're told, I'm going to tell you right now to leave your hands exactly where they are while this strapping young lady removes all of your weapons from you. I'm going to go and take the one that I can see. I'm going to grab the one pistol and kind of holster it myself. I'm going to see if I can get Mags to help me disarm him, because I don't trust him carrying anything anymore.
Okay.
Oh, I help.
Seeing as how you're so good at, acquiring pistols, Mags, I thought you might be especially suited for this job.
Maybell, what do? You still holding on to his hands, or are you gonna stand up?
No, I'm gonna stand up and still fake crying very badly. I'm going to go inside and see if the Pinkerton is there, and I can distract him in a very similar manner.
Okay, hold one moment. All right, so
Imagining the terrifying face of Dad, straight face, like.
It's not good. It's not good fake crying.
Splashes water like on her face.
all right, so we're gonna set the scene here.
Okay.
You all you're standing on a street, a wide dirt street. There are buildings on either side. The doctor's office is right in front of you, and it spreads out on either side. There's a couple more, the general store and the saloon and so on and so forth. And there's the wooden walkway that runs in front of it to keep the mud and horse poop out of where people are walking. Around you is the town folks. There's about 20 town folk, and they're all just kind of milling about. But when you pull the gun on him, everybody stops. Nobody says a word. And Carl Cartwright, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like a dumb name. Who would come up with that name?
I will shoot him.
Oh, it's good to me. Alliteration is great for names.
I did say Carl Cartwright. All right. He slowly pulls his hands away from his weapons, or he slowly extracts himself from Maybell's pawing, and holds up his arms as you disarm him. He has two visible weapons. One is the one that you saw previously tucked in here, and then the one on his hip.
I thought when we spotted him at first, I also noticed he had an ankle one and something else. I remember him having a couple other ones that we noticed were hidden.
Okay. I don't remember, so roll me another spot hidden, just to be, and roll a spot hidden as well, Mags.
I picture Ulrich back on the farm, eating some cookies and drinking a glass of milk and just living it up.
Wonder what those guys are up to. Gonna have a nice ride out to the west side of the.
I'm debating if I want to push my roll, but I think I want to see how Mags does first.
Okay.
I got a yeehaw success.
Ooh.
What's a yeehaw? Is that the lowest of the low?
Yeah.
Okay. So Mags, you go in and you, which gun did you grab, Sheriff? His hip one or his
I was gonna.
shoulder rig?
Yeah, it's probably which one? Probably the. You know what? The one on his waist is a little more obvious. I'll probably go ahead and get the.
That's not a gun.
That'd be the easier one to grab if you're holding the gun to his neck too, I guess. So you
Fair,
just reach in and pull it out.
Yeah.
Mags, you also notice that he's got a boot knife, a good size knife in his boot, and maybe something on his wrist, maybe something up under that coat sleeve there, with a yeehaw success. So you turn his hand over.
Yeah, I definitely I want to take that boot knife.
Okay.
And I kind of want to strong arm his hand over. Yeah, exactly. Not to cause damage, but just to make you go, and try to look and see what I can find there.
All right.
What you hiding over here?
Is
And
he
he's
drinking
got
a
a
Pepsi or being disarmed? I can't tell.
um, he's got a
Hashtag not a sponsor.
he has a holdout Derringer in his sleeve there.
And so, like, for people following at home, like, what's a Derringer?
Derringer is I think it's a 22 caliber, but it's a little small pistol. It doesn't have much range, but it'll wreck somebody's guts. It's usually used for close range. You
Like
put
this
it
range.
basically what the sheriff is doing right now. Hold it up to him and it'll take care of them. But it usually only has 1 or 2 shots. This
You're welcome,
particular one
chat.
is a single shot.
I know you all needed to know that, so that was for you, and not for me, because I totally
Absolutely,
know
yeah.
all
The
about
more you know.
guns. So I take it too.
Okay.
At this
Right
point,
now.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I would like to stand him up, and if there's 2 people I kind of trust in town to kind of like hold his arms, because I don't. You know what? Can I just handcuff this guy?
Roll me luck just to see if you brought your handcuffs with you to the party last night.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. And fucking Mags probably took him anyways. Ooh, I got a 2. That's an extreme success.
Okay. So yeah, you happen to have your handcuffs. Now, juggling, you've got the papers in one hand, the holdout
I've
to
dropped the papers
his
with
neck.
the
Okay,
papers right
papers
now,
done. Stamping all over
Later, bug.
Mr. Monroe's face. You've pulled the other pistol out. Are you going to step back and guard him with the one pistol and put the holdout pistol away? Just kind of map this scene for me.
So the way I see it going, holdout pistol stays on him. The other one I kind of put into my existing holster. So Mabel's gone inside, right?
Nope, not yet. We haven't stepped to that
Mabel's
next
outside,
scene yet.
okay.
He hasn't described what horrible thing I've seen.
Yeah. Then in that case, I guess I'm actually gonna hand it to him. Like, I think you know how to put these on, right?
As you go to do that, the door to the doc's office kicks open, and the Pinkerton detective comes out,
Okay.
guns blazing. Like he has both his barrels pointed at Maybell and at the sheriff. Ulrich Wolf, you get one opportunity to do a firearms shot.
Before we die.
Now you have the option of your pistols, or you do have that the rifle.
I think, considering the range and the accuracy required, I would be equipping myself with said rifle.
Okay. All right. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That is a hard success, my good man.
Hard success.
I rolled a 14 for rifle firearms.
We call that a who little doggy success.
Who little doggy.
Little doggy.
All right. Roll me damage on that bad boy. I think we decided it was the
2d6.
Yeah. Plus something.
3.
Yep.
Good. I shit you not. I just rolled 2 6s. That is 15 points of damage on that shot.
You guys are just
I promise you
tonight. Oh,
I promise you.
So we have this calm scene. The town folk are all frozen. They're watching it. You step back, Sheriff, and you hand him the handcuffs with your left hand while covering him with your right. You say, I think you know what to do with these. The door busts open. Pinkerton comes out. 2 barrels. He's about to pull the trigger when a shot rings out. And suddenly, his chest seems to explode almost. Maybell, you get a splash of hot blood as the Pinkerton just a surprise expression, and you actually see the the shot the blood splatter, and then you hear the rifle crack as the Pinkerton drops both pistols in this surprised face as he just falls face down on the floorboards at your feet.
At this point,
My tears are now real.
yeah, I'm gonna keep the gun train on that guy because like I didn't have too much time to react to that anyways. Right, so handcuffs.
Mags and Maybell, roll me sanity check.
Sorry.
That's a super de duper success.
Man,
Yeah.
she is getting hardened to this gore real quick. And Mags?
Yeah, that's a who boy success.
Okay. All right. I want you guys, both of you, to go ahead and put 2 marks down somewhere on your sheet, somewhere to denote that you've had 2 successes on sanity checks based on blood, guts, and gore.
I think we're gonna have to ban Gil's wonderful brass dice on this here show.
Man, you guys are you're crushing it.
It has not been like this in the past.
I know.
That's all.
These are the only dice that have ever rolled well for me. Like, I don't know what's happening. I roll like crap in every other game.
He knows what he's doing.
They're so pretty, aren't they?
He's heft.
The Carl Cartwright is gonna look down. He's gonna kind of roll his tongue around his teeth and, well, it appears that you have the drop on me.
Yeah,
And he goes ahead and starts to put the handcuffs on. I don't know how Wild West handcuffs work, but I assume they click in somehow.
Right. Well, it's a lot better than me having to drop you, don't you think?
Can we focus on what just happened for a moment?
About this time, Mr. Ulrich Wolf comes riding up.
Against my better judgment. And then I cock the Winchester, shooting out the exhausted shell. Seems you lot were about to get yourselves in some rather fine trouble.
Well, it was a mighty fine shot, Deputy. I appreciate it. I think you have earned that title, eh?
You have just shot a Pinkerton detective in our town. What Sheriff? What do we do about this? As the mayor comes up.
Mags, there's blood all over me.
I know. And I take my shirt sleeve and I kind of start whapping her down.
Sheriff, there's gonna be Pinkertons crawling all over. The railroad's gonna come here in force. What have you done?
I seem to recall, we were drawn on first, at least in this particular instance.
Do you think that matters to the Pinkertons?
Well, I know somebody's father's a judge that has a little bit of pull. Maybe we can write a few letters and get this all sorted out.
Where is my father's body?
Well, he's still in the doctor's office.
This is the mayor.
Yes.
I'll slap him. If you'd done your job and protected the citizens of your town, we wouldn't have had to do this and he would have still been alive.
That's not my job.
And I'll
That
run
is his
inside.
job.
I'll go inside.
Sheriff, this was your job.
Slap
He
the
threatened.
And just follow her inside.
Other cheek, other cheek.
Yeah, other cheek the other way.
Miss Monroe, did you see the way that they're treating me? I am an elected official of this town.
Do it, Max.
I'm trying to smack him, but like my aim is way off, and it's almost like an open-handed uppercut against
You
his.
lay him out in the middle
Yeah,
of the street.
exactly.
Roll. Yeah, let's see how How bad you hurt the
Oh
mayor here?
no!
As a point of note, I'm also dragging the other guy in, like holding handcuffs, just pulling him behind me.
Ah,
Okay,
I was about to ask.
I don't want to leave him alone.
that's probably good.
How do I do that? Like brawl?
Yeah, let's do brawl. That sounds good. That laugh.
You're about to get hit with a brick, Mr. Mayor.
Yo, I know that you don't want to believe me, but that's a smack
lying
you
to
up
me.
the face success.
Are you
Smack
serious?
Smack you
Are you
right
serious?
off success.
How many in a row is that? That's got to be 5 or 6.
That's 3 in a row for me. I don't know about everybody else.
You go to smack the mayor, but you're taller than the mayor, and you're not used to hitting people, just horseshoes. So your aim's a little off, and you catch him right. You know that hard part of your palm right there catches him right in the jaw. He does one spin and falls face down in the dirt.
I'm like, oops.
The townsfolk are stunned at this this violence that has just erupted on their streets. You know, Big Springs is not a violent town, a fact that you're proud of, Sheriff, because it means less work for you. So you enter what do you slap the body as well, Mr. Wolf?
I most certainly do not.
Just reach down and pat him on the back. Are you going in, or are you covering the street?
Well, I was about to question Cartwright, but considering he's been dragged into the building itself, it looks like that's where I'm heading.
Okay. All right.
Actually, no. Sorry. There's a Pinkerton body laying on the steps of this beer building.
There is.
Well, my first course of action is to search that said body.
Okay. Are you going in the building, Mags?
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody sound off if they can get there faster than me. Is there something besides spot hidden for rifling through pockets? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, as far as I know, no.
Cool. Yeah. Give me spot hidden.
Regular success.
Okay. There's nothing untoward on the Pinkerton's body. You find he's got his 2 pistols, and his holster belt with plenty of ammunition tucked into that there bad boy, and you find his badge, some folding money, just a little bit of cash that he's got on him, and another couple documents folded up that are essentially copies of the ones that he had handed the sheriff. Another wanted poster, and a stick of chewing tobacco as well.
The only documents he has on him are in regards to this here contract?
That's correct.
All right. I'm going to take his belt, replace my own. I only have a single pistol holster. A dual could do me some well, especially if it's got ammunition tucked inside. For point of reference, how much ammunition would you say is on this here gentleman?
Let's say there are 18. Is it a 45?
18 ammunitions.
18 whole ammunition. Oh wait, I made a card for Pinkerton. Pinkerton is carrying 45s. Yes, he has 245 revolvers. So he has 18 single 45 bullets tucked into the belt.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna have to take his guns off of him. It's 245 Colt revolvers.
Yes,
Okay, and then 18 rounds.
that is correct. Colt
Right.
45 and 18 rounds. That is all you need.
Now his badge, does it say his name on it, or does it just declare his Pinkerton alliance?
It is. To does a Pinkerton badge look like? I don't know. We're gonna say it's in a little folding wallet, and it opens up, and it's got the Pinkerton Detective Agency badge and all the official stuff on there. So yeah, let's say it has his name on there.
I'm gonna
Once
pocket it
again, I don't know
anyways.
how historically accurate that is, but
It's what you say. It's what I
see
got.
what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah, pocket that, and then the mayor's out cold, right?
Yeah. Mags laid him out.
Hey, who's got the strength and the wits? Come here.
A couple townsfolk come on over.
This right here, I'm gonna point at the Pinkerton's body, deep, and I'm sure you understand what it is I say. For all your sakes, this goes deep. I don't want to bury no 6 feet.
Roll. Are you intimidating or persuading?
That is a great question. I guess I'm being a little serious in this situation. My own anxiety and adrenaline is probably fueling my words.
Okay. Roll me an intimidation. See how high they jump.
Really?
He's the one that doesn't pass.
Yeah, it's not a success. I got a 90.
Oof. They kind of look at you, and then they look at each other, and they one of them does reach down and help the mayor to his feet and kind of starts to take him away, but the crowd disperses and they leave the Pinkerton body there.
That does not make me happy. I'm gonna step over the body. I'm gonna walk inside.
Okay. Meanwhile, you all have walked inside, and you're faced with the doctor, who is, he is actually slumped over in his chair, passed out, drunk. It doesn't look like he has been involved in this process at all. And you do see your father's body laid out on the table there. The head has been he's been cleaned up, so it looks like the doctor did a little bit of work before drinking himself into a stupor. His head is placed beside the body instead of up near where the head would be. But he hasn't been changed yet. He still has the blood-soaked clothes, but it's been tidied up a little bit. There's not a pool of blood around the body or anything like that.
Seeing the doctor slumped over, passed out drunk, and with all the adrenaline running through my body of just having taken a blood shower, I would like to rip one of the pistols from Dallas's, what do they call them? Holsters. Holsters is the word I was searching for.
There you go.
Thank you. And just kind of stomp over and sort of shakily hold it and kick him.
Kick the doctor?
Yup.
Yup.
You can smell the alcohol coming off of him.
So I've got the gun pointed at him. Now, I don't know what I'm doing with it, but... What are you doing?
Pardon me?
Look, you're a lousy-ass doctor to the living. I expect you to be a decent one to the dead. If you let anyone disturb my father's body, I will come back and have you join him. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? It's a simple question.
Yes.
Good.
He's very confused because he didn't know anything was going on.
I'm going to kick him again a lot harder this time, and then go to my father's side.
Is there anybody else in here? Just before something crazy happens.
Nope, it is a small doctor's office. There, slash dentist slash barber. So off to the left, as you enter in, it's about a 20 by 20, 30 by 30, somewhere in that range. Clapboard, building. There's a table off to the side that doubles as exam table, operating table. Right now it's a corpse table.
Okay.
And then over to the right, there's a large chair that is used for barbering and dentistry. And it looks like there's a door that leads to the back that, Sheriff, you know that's where the doctor lives. There's a small bedroom back that way.
I'm gonna plop Mr. Cartwright down in that chair there. I think. Actually, before I do so, I want to check for any sort of identification on him because I still don't know who he is or what he does because he did not divulge that information to me.
Give me another spot hidden.
Do you get anything because he's handcuffed?
No, because this would not have anything to do with whether or not he is able to resist you.
Gotcha. Don't find anything. I guess he's not a real person, so we can bury him next to the other guy. That's how I'm feeling right now.
What'd you roll though? Out of curiosity.
Oh, it was a failure.
Okay. How bad a failure?
Not a critical one.
Okay. There's just piling away some information. Okay.
Yeah.
So he sits down. He put his handcuffs on in front of him because it's kind of hard to put them on behind you. So he sits down with his handcuffs and he says, "Y'all are gonna be in a lot of trouble when this word gets out. Pinkertons don't take kindly to when one of their own gets gunned down.
Oh man.
Broad
I
daylight."
don't take kindly to being kind of one insulted by you coming into my town and just making the law your own, and two, it kind of sounds like you're threatening me and my townsfolk right now. So if you don't find a way to shut your mouth for at least a few more minutes, you're gonna end up pretty far underground yourself.
He just kind of looks at you. He's not scared. He looks at you with a laissez-faire attitude and just kind of
Okay.
shrugs.
Very good. As long as he's shutting the hell up. Has Mr. Wolf made it inside by this point?
Yes. While he was dealing with what was going on out there, Maybell was kicking the poor, unfortunate dentist doctor.
Okay. We only saw the two of them, right? There was no third guy, like no mysterious third man, right?
Correct.
When they first. Then, as Mr. Wolf has made his way in, I think I'm actually gonna pull Mr. Cartwright up. I'm gonna take him over to Ulrich. Ulrich, I think maybe we ought to see that these boys are seeing to you. You think? I'm gonna give him one of those like, kind of knowing looks. These guys got to go on the ground.
You're insinuating that you're gonna.
Oh, I don't say that at all, and I'm not saying it loud enough to hopefully where the guy can hear me.
Let's see here. Let's see what his listen skills are. How do you guys roll? Fantastically.
The game
heroes,
wanted us to
that's
beat
why.
the crap out of the mayor.
Yeah, he
Perhaps we take this one down to the pokey and see if we can find a place to hold this other Pinkerton fellow until some government officials arrive. And as I say this, I'm like kind of, not obviously, but hopefully Ulrich can get what I'm insinuating.
a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Maybell, you are attending to your father, so you don't see any of this. Mags, what are you doing?
Well, when Maybell finished her,
Assault, just say it.
yeah,
Salt of the
and
good
battery.
doctor.
and went over to kneel by our father. I want to go and join her, and I at this point am taking, like, I've rolled down my shirt sleeve, and I'm like licking the fabric just to moisten it, and I'm gently trying to wipe away those last kind of crusts of blood that are still on her face. My shirt sleeves, I think at this point, are just like spattered and deep
Pretty
in
filthy.
red with the the viscera of the various points of the evening, but especially this most recent one. And while she just looks down at our father's decapitated corpse, I'm just watching her and just wiping the blood off of her face as gently as I can and not taking my eyes off of her.
Then yes, you do not see the interaction between Rex and Ulrich. What would you all like to do next? So currently, you have just to recap, you have a man in captivity. You have a dead Pinkerton outside on the porch. It's about I want to say it's about 2 o'clock now. So the sun is high, and you have the fully loaded wagon back at the farm. And you know that there's a train coming to town within the next hour or so. Trains are not New York subway on time, but they come on the day.
We're talking about
yeah, and the mayor is out cold in the street.
Leaning into the Mr. Rex here. We're talking about a man who does not fear death. We're talking about a man that sells his soul for a price. If we want answers from this gentleman, we're going to have to procure them in a unique fashion. Unless you want to see him buried down under with this Pinkerton out front. But I think he has more to tell.
Yeah, but it might be nice to have him lend a hand in digging the hole. Maybe make it a little extra deep, just in case he needs to fit in there as well.
I don't feel all too well with my actions back there. I've saved your lives, but that ain't business I deal with.
Then look at it this way. We have a few options. The two of them disappear. We have a couple other people coming to town looking to try and find out what happened to them. We have about, 15 witnesses that saw it. One of them's going to talk. So, you're the one with the law background. We got a couple options. We put them away, get our job done, and move on. I'm no stranger from going from one town to the other.
What was the reward for my contract on the Boone gang? On Logan Boone's head?
Logan Boone.
Was it like $300?
It was not an insignificant sum, but it was no $1,000. I think, $300.
Being offered $2,000 on the spot, he still didn't even turn his allegiance. My goal for Logan himself only rewards me with $300. This gentleman, he's not unfamiliar to death. Perhaps there are some answers he could give us. Where's your station at, Sheriff?
Keeper.
It's not a huge town. It's down the road a ways. There's one main street, and then there's some houses off.
Gotcha. Oh, not far.
Well, perhaps this gentleman ought to stay a night and a day locked up and confined with only himself and his demons. Remember, we've still got a wagon to catch.
Megs, what did they want with his body?
I don't know. But it can't be good.
I can't leave him here. We can't leave him here.
We ain't got time for no burial, girl.
Mr. Ulrich, I understand if you don't have a family or a lot of connections or anything that keeps you going day after day, and I'm sorry for that, but I cannot leave my father's body here when I know that men are coming to take it and talking about they have to take the body for purposes before it gets too ripe and they won't allow it on the train. You gotta understand how unsettling that is. Surely we can take his body at least back to our ranch. The doctor ain't gonna do anything.
Belly,
Please.
I'm a little scared if we take it back to the ranch.
He's safer with us than with them.
If that'll give you peace, then bring it with us. The wagon station out front, we're heading back there anyways.
About this time, you all hear a loud thundering of hooves and raised voices outside.
Max, help me wrap him. Is there like a sheet or something we can...
He's laying on a sheet. There was one set out on the table there.
Okay.
I help her wrap him up.
I'm gonna immediately pull one of the 45s that took off the Pinkerton and put it quite forcefully to the temple of Cartwright.
Okay.
Who knows you're here?
Just the Pinkertons and the people that sent us.
And they are.
None of your damn business.
Become our business. You're about to become the worm's business if you don't open that mouth.
Too simple for him. All right.
You're all are meddling in affairs that you don't have any comprehension of. The very base of them would rock you to the soul and turn your brains into jelly. I suggest you turn around and walk the other way while you still have legs with which to do it.
Well then,
And that is where we're going to end for the evening.
Before Ulrich kills this guy too.
I was about to say, of course, we must end on the most dramatic frickin' line that's gonna make us want to sock his lights out.
I mean,
So-
the storyteller's got to do what the storyteller's got to do.
We have our investigators standing in the doctor, dentist, barber's office. There is a commotion going on outside, and presumably a train is coming. There's a wagon full of goods that could go out to a little-known shack on the far side of the Monroe property, and the next morning, the other unknown here is the cattle drive starts the next morning. So we have a decision. We are at a crossroads, if you will, for our investigators here, and they will have to figure that out in 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you enjoy Call of Cthulhu, I highly recommend hopping back on here next Thursday on Wizard Rex's channel for their Call of Cthulhu game. It's a lot of fun. What time is that one?
8
Mason.
p.m. Eastern time.
8 p.m. Eastern. So the same
Almost like
time as
that's when all the dice roll and role play happens.
Weird.
Yeah.
somewhere between
good
7
time.
and 9. Yeah, it works out really well. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, players. That was a fantastic job. I really enjoy this game. It's just it's a really fun system to play. And disclaimer for the audience: this is my first time keeping, so that's why there's been a few pauses while I look something up and consulting Mason on some rulings there. So thank you for bearing with us. As an outro, let's go reverse. Diana, tell the folks about you.
Hey guys, I'm still Diana. That hasn't changed. I'm still the Dice Affiliate Manager for Die Hard Dice, so I still roll dice literally all day, every day. I'm going to go ahead and pop our Discord link over in server because MK says he got really good clips from tonight, and if you want to go back and see him, that's a good place to do it. Yeah, I'll be here for Saturday morning cartoons as Mingini, the elf rogue, and then on Sunday we're actually going to be trying out something new with our Aegon game that I think will be a lot of fun. So there's that too.
And Miss Emily, where can folks find you?
Hi everyone, you can find me on all things at Emily the Spoon.
real quick, one last opportunity for chat, those that missed it at the very beginning. Over on the Twitter, for the Bard and Barbarian Twitter, we are about to close our poll for our brand new set of dice. There are 4 names there. Get over there and put your vote in, and we'll announce that here in just a moment, which one won.
It's actually it's really close. I think one
really
name
close.
or one vote could tie it right now.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to jump over there and swing the vote one way or another, get out your vote. Your vote counts.
Vote good practice
fitting for the
November.
season. Mr. Fancy, where can folks find you?
Lord Fancy in the chat right now. You can follow me here on Twitch. We do D&D on Tuesdays. My party has entered the City of Intrigue, aka Menzo Baronzon in the Underdark. If you have any interest in the political intrigue that would follow in such a place, yeah, go ahead and check us out. There's a few VODs on that.
What night is that?
That is Tuesday nights,
Tuesday
8
nights.
p.m. EST. And yeah, I also play with Wizard in the Wednesday night campaign. And yeah, I mean, if you like things that are dark, macabre, gritty, then my channel is the place to be.
And last but certainly not least, Mason Dula.
Hey everybody, yeah, Mason Dula. You can find me at WizardX TV here on the Twitch, and you know, it's either WizardX or WizardX TV on all the other socials and things where you can find out announcements and things. Yes, Diana, I can see you leaning in.
You skipped Emily.
No, I went.
No,
Oh,
Emily
I was
went.
just real fast because I don't have all these fancy streams to talk about.
Just kidding. Sorry, Mason.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it. Bye.
Wow.
I'm good. That's good enough.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now I
And,
feel like a chode. Hey guys, Mason's really cool, and I'm gonna go ahead and put his Twitch channel over in chat so that you can check out Wizard Rex TV for D&D and Call of Cthulhu and really great games.
and
Thanks,
all
Bard
of these
and
fine
Barbarian.
folks. Xavier, do you have a Discord channel as well?
I do, actually. If you click on my name down in the description below, you will find my Discord.
Okay.
And you're more than welcome to join.
Yeah, all these fine folks have Discord channels. Emily is a Luddite and just refuses to get on Discord, but we've got lots of fun communities developing up over there. So just hopping over there and saying, hey, good morning, how was your day? It's a good place to do those little check-ins on people and make sure that we're all surviving in this lockdown world. I have been your keeper. I hope you enjoyed your time today. I will be running Mangini, Diana through a very strange dungeon over on Saturday morning cartoons. We're changing it to 10 a.m. Mountain, so 12 Eastern.
That's right,
so
we're on
we're
Mountain Time now.
Yeah, getting a little later, but that
He
helps
killed
us
my
get
dog
things
last
squared
weekend,
away.
guys. He killed my
The dog died. Mangini died, actually.
I don't care about me. He killed my dog.
And we will be back up on Q Times in a couple weeks with Diana, Emily, Mason, and myself doing the next installment of whatever the case may be in New
Mage?
York. Is it going to be
Changeling?
Mage? Is it going to be Shifter? I don't know. Or
Question
Changeling,
mark
whatever.
in New York.
Yeah.
People in New York.
We will. It's fun to come watch us do a terrible job of pretending to be vampires or werewolves or whatever, because none of us know the lore of the system, so it's a lot of fun.
I think it worked though.
And Diana and I will be over on Wandering DM's channel starting October 5th doing a Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. I'm real excited about that. Tuesdays you can find us on Like Seven Spoons. We're all over the place. Follow us on all the socials, Bard and Barbarian, and let's get a drum roll for that final. Everybody got their final vote in?
Technically,
What's-
there's still 4 minutes left, but
4 minutes?
Yeah,
What?
I know.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Roll the B-roll.
Roll that
I
beautiful
don't
green
have any
footage.
B-rolls. So, do you want to do like a finger puppet show while we're sitting here? But I believe we have our winner.
Okay.
I think. Cute,
So unless
Emily.
something changes in the next 4 minutes, what is our winner going to be?
The name of our new dice set is Reckless Inspiration.
Yay! That was my vote.
Mine too.
I did Harmon
Democracy
Harmony.
does work.
Harmon Harmony was the one that
sucker.
Justice and I
I'm
were
a
both
sucker
like,
for
"Ooh,
alliteration.
yeah."
I really am.
Harmon Harmony was real good. That was the one that we were like, if we don't do a poll, this is the one we're just gonna go with.
You know what's cool though, guys, is that if they're your dice, you can call them whatever the hell you want.
That's,
Yeah,
You don't have to
true.
take our
Also,
crappy
dice.
opinions for it.
You can call them
Are you sure?
veiny boys.
No, stop it,
Yeah,
Emily.
the veiny
Boys, yeah.
boys. Mm.
The veiny boys. So Reckless Inspiration was by @Jay'sCave over on Twitter. So that individual will be winning a set of dice, and we'll make that announcement on the socials here shortly. Unless, I don't know, last minute votes could happen. It could happen. And if so, we'll keep you posted. But those are going live tomorrow at noon Eastern time, along with the new Hodor Bard and Barbarian pins. And we've got a lot of cool stuff over on our store, so check it out. Once again, I really appreciate all of you coming and hanging out with us tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and I cannot wait. We will be back in 2 weeks. And like I said, in the meantime, make sure you hop over on Wizard Rex next Thursday for even more Call of Cthulhu. That's what I got.
Love you
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Have a fantastic